walk into a room and boom, all the lights, everything goes completely dark. You have no idea where you're going, no idea what's where. But after a couple of hours, you start figuring out where everything is. You're able to move freely around your area and feel safe. What's going on, guys? I'm Steven Turner with Crappie Jigs. Welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to learn you and try to explain what crappie do in muddy water. So stay tuned and stay slabby. So like the title of the video says, what do crappie do in muddy water? That's what we're covering today. There's no script, there's no nothing, there's just what's between these two ears of mine that we're going to try to explain over the countless 20 plus years that I've been fishing. So muddy water, honestly, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I love muddy water. Muddy water is the funnest, the easiest time to catch the fish of your life. Because normally, to me, down south, muddy water means A, it's springtime, we get a lot of rain. It's actually raining right now. You probably hear it on the roof every now and then. B, pre-spawn. Muddy water to me down south is springtime, pre-spawn, give me some mud, drop a live scope in the water and go catch a two and a half pounder. But why is it that, Steven? Like, why do you think muddy water is better than clean water? Because the fish they honestly get to a point where they bite whatever you put in their face. So let me explain kind of the whole cycle of muddy water. Now, this is from a fishing experience. It's not scientific, Scientology, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a fishologist. I'm a fisherman that has experienced a lot of crap in his life. So let me just explain that. You can hit that like button down there. That'd be awesome. And subscribe for more weekly crappie fishing videos. When it rains initially, if you have a lake drawdown, like we have, you know, majority of lakes have them in the wintertime where they draw them down so you can work on your docks and they can work on the lake, kill all the good grass, you know, all the hydrilla, whatever. That's what they do here anyways. So then we get an influx of rain. And what happens is you've got a bare bank because the water's down. It's going to muddy your water up. Then you know, if you're fishing a river system, whatever, you're going to get mud from other lakes and yada, yada, yada. You're going to have muddy water in your rivers. When it first happens, like I said at the beginning of the video, all the lights go out. These fish don't know what the heck to do. They're scared of everything. So what I meant by that is when you first get your mud, like when you go out to the lake, you're like, dang, it was clear the other day, and now you've got muddy water. That's when you don't want to fish muddy water. Because when you do anything in your boat that makes noise, they're going to run. For the majority. Okay, there's going to be somebody in the comments saying, no, that's bull crap, bro. What are you talking? No, for the majority, if you make one noise, they're gone. And I've watched this thousands of times on live scope. It's the daggum truth. But I thought you said you like muddy water. I do. I love muddy water. But it's after about 3 or 4 days after it turns to mud. See, what happens is these fish feel like, in my opinion now, after they get accumulated to the mud, they're going to feel more safe in that mud and they're going to be roaming. Not in packs, not in whatever. They're roaming by themselves. They actually get to the point where A, they're using the mud as cover because they feel safe, that the predators can't see them because they can't see crap either. And B, they're going to be so tight to cover because that's what makes them feel safe. So if you put 5 humans in a room and they're shooting arrows all throughout the room, and the only way to survive is to A, be somewhere where the arrows ain't, or B, be behind something. You cut off the lights, everybody's going to do something different. And what I'm trying to explain is every fish is going to do something different. You're going to have fish A that hangs out on a dock post in the mud because he feels safe on that dock post. You're going to have fish B that hangs close to that dock because he feels safe, because he can't see anything. All he can use is his lateral line to feed. So he feels safer out in the mud, using the mud as a structure. And then you've got C, you're going to have maybe groups of 1 to 2 fish that stick together. And that's kind of the majority of fish during the mud time. Like if your lake is muddy all year, it may be something different. I haven't experienced that, and I haven't, really fished something like that before. So I could be wrong on all levels on lakes that's muddy all year long. But it's got to have kind of the same effects on it. Now say you've had mud for about a week, whatever, 3-4 days, you go out there. What is so good about fishing after the fact? And after the fact, what is going to happen is these fish are going to be more focused on their lateral line than anything else. They're not looking at your bait. They're not doing anything else except, hey, that feels like something to eat. So when you drop down a bait, they're going to feel the vibration off the bait. They're going to feel the size of the bait. And they're going to feel how fast it's falling. And the presence of the bait itself. So kind of like 4 things. Like I said, this is my opinion. Now I'm not a scientist. I'm a fisherman, But there's one key factor that I have figured out throughout the entire process of all this. Baits with ribs really shine in the mud. I don't care if you're fishing a 1-inch bait, a 2-inch bait, a 5-inch bait. If you've got the little ribs on it, let me show you. Like a grub style bait with all these little, this is what I'm talking about, ribs. Just a little appendages on the bait. Now this is a little stinker. I don't sell this one anymore, but the OG that I sell has the ribs on top of it. It's a big 2-inch minnow. That's my favorite lure in the mud. Because when that bait hits the water and it comes down, it's going to disperse water with those ribs. Now I know it may be subtle to a human, but I mean those fish got like spider senses down there, and they just, oh minnow, there's a minnow, and then they're just going to attack it. Now what's the best way to fish mud? Now I know that's going to be one of the biggest questions or whatever. If you don't have forward-facing sonar, focus on structure. Like I said, you're going to have 5 humans in a room. 2 or 3 of those humans are going to be sitting there hiding behind structure. So you're going for the 2 or 3 humans that hide behind the structure, aka crappie on dock post. I wouldn't focus on brush piles. Honestly, throw brush piles out the damn window. Bridge pylons, it could hold a few fish, but I would focus on tree stumps, dock pylons, lay downs, even just something that fish can feel safe. Also, is always during the pre-spawn. For the love of crappie fishing, stop thinking deep. You can be in 30 feet of water with a tree sticking out the water. That fish is going to be 1 to 5 feet on that tree. You can be 100 feet of water. That fish is going to be 1 to 5 feet on that tree. If you've got muddy water, the top of that water is warmer than the bottom of that water. They say there's a hell in earth, but that water down there is cold. So when you're fishing, I'm not telling you to go fish a 3-foot dock that the max depth is 6 foot. I'm saying if you're fishing a dock pylon, don't cast out and try to fish 10 foot deep. Try that 1 to 5 range, and I'm telling you, you're going to get bit. Those fish are going to be higher in the water column because the warmer water is up here and the colder water is down here. There's also a debris thing going on in the water too, so you kind of want to be below that. You can kind of see that with your eyes. If there's a bunch of leaves and everything on top of the water, you kind of want to fish under that though. So what are some of the best areas to fish during the mud? Honestly, creek channels. They should be, this time of year you're finding a lot of fish in creeks. So if you can find a channel swing that has laydowns, stumps, a dock, anything like that on your map, definitely check those, especially if they're between 15 to 5 feet deep in those channels. But the roaming fish, you want to also look in those same areas, but you want to look out from the structure. So you could try to pinpoint them out there. So just to wrap this video up, what is the setup that I would use during this time of year? And that is a 10 to 13 foot pole, targeting structure and targeting fish with forward facing sonar, with a 2-inch little minnow Crappie Man Jigs.com, with either a 1/16 or a 1/64 with a pegged weight up top. The OG is going to have the vibration I want, and it's going to have the bait presence that I want. Because when these fish are out in the open, they're going to bite. It doesn't matter what color. I'm not going to give you a color. I would recommend monkey milk. I do have a video on the channel from a long time ago where I caught a lot of fish in really dirty water on monkey milk. Mainly because I think when they get up to the bait, they can kind of see it, and if it looks like a minnow that's been in the mud for a couple weeks, you know, they turn white. I mean, that's what monkey milk looks like. So it makes sense to a fisherman. It might not make sense to a scientist or a biologist or whatever they call. But anyways, if you learned something in today's video, hit the sub button down below. We come out with videos like this every week. I go live every night. So hopefully this big old country boy taught you something. Stay slabby.